Hey everybody, glad to be learning with you today on location from the Texan Room at the Dallas Jewish Community Center. You can note the Texas Longhorn just above my left shoulder, where tonight we'll have an opportunity to study a little bit about the laws of Losh, generally translated as kneading, as part of our unit on Hilchot Shabbat. Most people would choose to define the melachah of Losh as kneading dough. And that's not necessarily wrong, but it doesn't cover the full definition or scope of this melachah. When we talk about Losh in Hilchot Shabbat, we're talking about something far greater. Losh refers to any act where a person mixes a liquid with another substance to produce a new product that is thick and consistent. This, as we'll see, stretches far beyond dough per se and could apply to lots of other scenarios and food types as well. But before we look at some practical applications of the melachah of Losh, let's first study some key vocabulary that will help us better understand the topic. The first vocab term that I want to introduce you to is a belila ava, a thick mixture. These mixtures, when combined, are so thick and heavy that they almost stand still in place. Things like dough, which is the classic example of Losh, but also other things like hot porridge or even pudding. The substance that is created by mixing liquid with something else to produce any of these three things, and even others, would constitute a belila ava. And a belila ava is the most severe form of mixture creation that you could have on Shabbat, because it resembles most closely the way the melachah was done in the Mishkan to prepare for the bread making process. There's another term we need to know, and it's almost the exact opposite of the first. Belila raka is a runny mixture, a mixture like pancake batter, for example, which is so thin, so drippy, so runny, that even when you combine a liquid and another substance to form this new mixture, the mixture is not as thick or as tight or as dense as the mixture of a belila ava. And according to the halacha, a belila ava is a violation of Losh on a d'oraita level, on a Torah level, whereas a belila raka is only a violation of the melachah of Losh on a d'Rabbanan level, on a rabbinic level. So because there is that fundamental difference between a belila ava and a belila raka, we are a little more lenient when it comes to creating a belila raka on Shabbat. A belila ava is forbidden under all circumstances, but we can do certain things to create a belila raka that would fall in line with the halacha. And here we insist on two changes in behaviors. The first is a change in the manner of the way you add the liquid to the substance. That would be called shinui baseder, a change in the order in which you do things. And the other is shinui belisha, a change in the way you actually mix it. So if the way you would normally create the mixture is to first add the solid, then the liquid to produce a new mixture, if you inverted that process, first liquid, then solid, and then you change the order in which you mixed it, which would, in this case, be more of a crisscross method, as opposed to a circular, steady motion, then those two small changes would allow a person to create a belila raka on Shabbat and not violate any laws of Losh. There's one other key term here that we need to know, and that's chatichot gedolot, large pieces. When we talk about large pieces that are combined with some other substance to produce a new mixture, we're not concerned about a violation of Losh. A classic example of this would be potato salad. If the chunks of potato were so large that when they're combined with mayonnaise or some other substance to produce the new mixture, the potato salad, they don't really form something that is a single unit. The potatoes are so large that they remain apart and distinct from the rest of the mixture, that this wouldn't really fall into the category of Losh. When we speak about Losh, we're talking about a new mixture that is created that looks like a single unit, one that is complete and whole, unlike chatichot gedolot, where there are distinguishable, discernible parts that are still left in the mixture, and therefore would not look and feel the same way as a belila ava or as a belila raka. Let's take a look at some examples here of this in real life and tell me what you think. Would this be an example of a belila ava or a belila raka? How about this? Would this fall into the category of belila ava or belila raka? Finally, as we look at some practical applications like making oatmeal on Shabbat, what would you need to do in this situation in order to ensure that no laws of Losh were violated in the making of this oatmeal? So there you have it. Those are some basic laws and provisions about the melachah of Losh. Next up, we'll take a look at some other issues to consider in this melachah, such as remixing a liquid, thinning out a liquid, or shaking a liquid. And we'll see whether the melachah of Losh applies in any of those circumstances. But in this first introductory video, you got a chance to take a look at some basic vocabulary and some practical applications. Looking forward to continuing the learning with you, both in the text and beyond when we return.